Olá amigos, como estão vocês? Lembrando que canecas e camisetas do Joe Rock Show já estão à venda. Temos outros modelos, muita coisa legal, a pronta entrega no Brasil inteiro. Ficou legal, né, gente?
Of the University of California at Los Angeles as the most desirable entertainer of the year.
It was voted on nationally by all the theater houses in the country that Andy Gibb be the most desirable actor of 81. It was a national vote.
200 active members presented him with a plaque in a formal ceremony conducted on the grounds of the sorority.
It's very flattering. It means a lot more to me than a lot of the big rock music awards. I really don't know quite what it is that appeals to girls or to my fans. But whatever it is, I just hope I keep doing the same thing. But I don't want to be, you know, seem like I'm being modest, but I really am being modest. I don't know what it is.
This was Andy Gibb's last public performance when he teamed up with his brothers back in November for the Channel 4 Barry Gibb Love and Hope TV special to raise money for diabetes.
Come on, everybody!
And it was hits like Shadow Dancing that rocketed Andy Gibb to fame as a solo artist back in the late 1970s. But in recent years, he was plagued with drug and money problems. Gibb filed for bankruptcy in October. It was drug problems that reportedly led to the end of his relationship with Dallas star Victoria Principal. But in 1985, he entered a drug rehab program, and just months ago, his brothers said he was clean and on the road to recovery.
In the last year, he's become completely straight. The kid's grown up. He's learned to fly. He's got a pilot's license. He's gone through his financial difficulties, and I think now you could actually say he's starting again.
You are the question, and the answer am I.
In fact, Andy Gibb had just signed a new record deal which he was working on in London. Family friends in South Florida thought the future was bright.
His brother Barry had written some lovely songs for him, and he was so excited about it all. And he said, I can't wait to start.
Everyone is just totally in shock and numb right now, and it's a tremendous loss.
He was very kind. You know, the whole family do a lot for the area. You know, very private, kind person, and it's tragic.
In addition to raising money for diabetes, Andy Gibb also held his own tennis tournament to raise money for cancer and donated his time to needy children. That's the side of him longtime friends like South Florida's Nolene Stewart remember.
He just loved life. He loved singing, and to know him was to love him.
Toll-free 800-554-3600 for package tours and information, or see your travel agent.
Any dream will do. I wore my coat with golden lining, bright color shining, wonderful and new. And in the east When I got to try it on, I knew my sheepskin days were gone.
Broadway's the latest triumph for Andy Gibb, who's made the crossover from pop singing star to the world of musical theater.
I've done the show for a month now in Philadelphia. But tonight, besides number one, it's Broadway. Besides that, my brothers being in the audience. My mother and father have seen the show before, but having my brothers in the audience, I was very nervous.
I was one of Egypt's millionaires.
That clip was shot opening night, and this, as you can see, was not a rock concert.
No, definitely not, no.
A little different, right?
Yeah.
It's something new.
Yeah, it is for me. Well, I did theater once before this. I did Pirates of Penzance for 4 months.
In California.
Right, yeah.
But that's not, now doing anything in California, and I don't mean to sound provincial, is not the same as opening on Broadway in New York. I mean, it's just not the same ballgame.
Certainly not.
Right.
Well, when you talk Broadway, that's the peak of theater. It's everybody's dream.
As I was watching the clip, I said, no falsetto this time.
Right.
It must be a nice break for you just to get out there and belt and not have to worry about disco movements, but it's a more fluid thing.
What I like about this show, unlike Gilbert and Sullivan, is it's a little bit more pop-style singing. Whereas Gilbert and Sullivan, you've got to be a little bit more the tenor-style singing, have a bit of training.
Right.
Well, this is pretty suitable for me.
In the TV commercial promo for the play, there's that scene about the Elvis, and is that you in the play? Do you get to do the little hip pushing forward number?
The Elvis? I don't play the Elvis scene.
No, too bad.
That's a man called Tom Carter.
Okay, all right. I was just curious.
No, I'd have a lot of costume changes if I did that.
Yeah.
Is this, in part, any sort of an attempt, Andy, for you to maybe transition out of the teeny bopper thing a little bit and begin to move toward an older audience or a more sophisticated type of audience?
At first I just wanted to, not just to be known as a recording artist. I thought it'd be nice just to, if I'm going to be in show business, to try anything I think I can do. And if I fall on my face, well, that's one thing. But, try theater, try films later on if I can.
Well, at age 25, you have still the room to fail if you did run into something that, you couldn't handle. And you also have achieved an amount of success in a fairly brief amount of time that would cushion you, I would guess, against anything down the road. You had 2 million-selling long-playing albums before you were 20 years old. And, of course, the last 2 or 3 years after that have just been setting one record after another.
Right.
It came very fast, and it came in large quantity for you, success.
Sure did.
Is that a tough thing to fool with when it comes almost like a tidal wave like that?
Yeah, it certainly made me very spoiled. I thought that it was always going to be that way, and there would always be those #1 hit records and stuff. Also, I mean, I'd be foolish to deny it. You certainly do get an ego, and you've got to try and come back down to earth and control that. It was a pretty wild roller coaster ride for those 2 or 3 years.
At which point did you recognize that the ego was being shifted around a little bit? Was there any incident or just your attitude about things in general?
I'm just now looking back, remembering how I was, and I was just lucky that somehow, somewhere along the way, I just changed and started to come back down to earth.
In some things I was reading about, it seems like you've been around to me forever. It said 6 years. However, and when you were 8 or 9 years old, thanks to your older brothers, there were a lot of things that you learned about show business and its tremendous success. And I'm thinking mostly about the things that were happening around your house, the craziness, the people coming and going and screaming on the lawns.
Hey, what is that like? I mean, you're the only guy in the world who grew up as the younger brother of the Bee Gees when they did the Saturday Night Fever track and literally owned every jukebox, every radio station, not only in this country, but I guess that album sold all over the world.
Well, that was the biggest selling soundtrack in history.
And here you are, a young guy who's going through, I mean, at that particular time in anybody's life, it's tough enough to get from being a kid to trying to be something approaching an adult. But it must have been, with all of this other thing going on, it must have been absolute lunacy.
Well, it was lunacy, but it was also very exciting. We've always had that kind of excitement around the family, and as far back as I can ever remember, my brothers were well known. So I've always grown up in that, and of course I've always got on with people older than myself. I always grew up with older people. And lunacy, yes, but fun.
But fun, yeah.
And there was a time when you wanted to be part of the Bee Gees, but probably it's better it worked out that you didn't.
I'm kind of glad now it really didn't work out. The way it works now is that occasionally we'll sing on each other's records or something, or get up in concert with each other.
Did you have that thing from, I have a younger brother, and older brothers treat younger brothers a certain way. I mean, that's just the way it's supposed to be.
You're cruel to him, Jack.
You know what I'm talking about. And the younger brothers will come along and say, can I go play? And say, nah, no.
Go away.
And all of a sudden, young Andy, baby of the family, takes off like the proverbial 4th of July skyrocket. Was there a little, well, I guess I showed them guys I could do a little something. I mean, you had to do a little of that someplace.
As a matter of fact, maybe just a little bit.
Just a smidgen.
They've actually always been very proud and very protective of me. They've given me a lot of advice and a lot of tips and stuff, and they don't let me stray too far wrong.
Well, the thing with brothers is it's all right for the older brother to pick on it, but nobody else can touch the younger brother. Right. You know, there's that protective...
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it's nice to have 3 quite powerful brothers, isn't it?
Did you get a telegram from them on opening night?
Oh, they were there.
Oh, were they?
Came,
oh,
yes.
my goodness.
Except for one brother who's coming in this week to see the show.
I'd imagine that was a distraction.
I was reading, are they going to do the track for the Saturday Night Fever sequel,
Yes,
I think?
As a matter of fact, I'm probably one of the few people that have a cassette at home of the new tracks that they've written for it, and they're amazing. They really are amazing, yeah.
Well, I thank you for stopping by. It's the first time we've had a chance to talk to you on Live at 5. We're apparently doing quite well over on the Great White Way, and it's nice to get a chance to visit with you a little bit.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. He danced and he sang for an audience that included his brothers, the Bee Gees, among other celebrities, standing room only tonight at the Royale Theater, but we managed to save some good seats for you as well. We asked Andy if he wanted to talk about this. He says, I think I'll let myself.
To heart the title of one of his big hit songs, I Just Want to Be Your Everything. He's already made his mark in recordings. Last year he made his mark in theatrical debuts, 2 musicals. One was on Broadway, and now he's launching a nightclub act. Starting Thursday, Andy Gibb will be at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas for a week. I talked with him last week and asked him why he's decided to move into nightclubs.
Well, it's something that I've been asked to do many years back, and we're going into the studio towards the end of the year, so we're taking this time now to accept these offers and just to test the waters to see what it's like.
Because this is a new audience for you, a much older audience.
Totally new.
Now, how does that affect what you do out there on stage?
Well, unlike concerts, you have to be a little bit more intimate. You have to communicate with the audience a lot more, and for instance, we do things we wouldn't do in a concert hall. We do a little soft shoe dance number, things like that.
And you don't really talk to your audience at a concert either, do you, that much?
Normally you can't. They can't hear you anyway. They scream so much, you know, they don't hear anything.
And choice of music, I understand you're doing a medley of Mills Brothers.
Mills Brothers, and I do a tribute to my brothers, some of their greatest hits.
You aren't concerned at all that the quote-unquote older act will have any influence on your young fans? That they
well,
might
they're
say,
all
wait.
there. They're there too. I think I'm actually bringing people into the casinos, or young people that probably would not normally go to see casino-type acts.
You've said recently, you know, I'm really getting things together now. You were on our show, I think it was about 9 months ago. It was back when you were making your debut in the Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I always have to look, it's such a long title.
Yes.
And you came in and you said, look, I've really got my life together, and I've had it with the drugs, all the problems that I had. Then it was like, I think a few weeks later that you were basically fired from that because you had missed so many performances. And there was a lot of speculation that you were still on drugs, that you still had problems.
No.
What was the story? Want to set things straight
now? Yes, I'd like to set things straight. It was not drugs. It never was drugs. I'd already done a month in Philadelphia. I was never very good in Pirates in L.A. for doing a long run of the same thing every night. And I'm not a trained singer, and I lose my voice very easily. And it was written that I was fired. It was a mutual decision to part company with the producers of the show, because I was not being reliable. I was not helping out the show any. Having to compete with 30 people on stage every night who are trained singers, I just was losing my voice. My biggest mistake was I never went to a voice doctor, or I never went to a doctor to get notes or something like that to take care of it. So it was for the best interest in the show that I back out.
So it's not true that there is still a drug problem?
No drug problem.
And there is no drug problem today?
I only had one drug problem in my life, and I'm never going to go through that again.
Do you ever worry that, I mean, we hear these things, you know, once you have a drug problem, you can always go back to it. Do you ever have that concern?
No, because it kind of disgusts me now. It's not attractive to me. It's not tempting. I'd like to be around people who are even on it, so.
You talk about how it was just a matter of not being able to do all these shows. That's a demanding schedule, 8 performances a week on Broadway. And at the time, a spokesperson for you said that you just simply felt that you weren't capable of handling the responsibility of 8 performances a week.
No.
How do you feel now about 2 performances nightly?
It's different, because I'm not doing something that was written by somebody else. I'm doing my own show, my own hit records, and I can change things a little every night. When you're doing a theater show, it's scripted,
yeah.
And you have to do it for the 6-month run. And you can't change it every night. So,
Andy, what about all the publicity, though, that surrounded all that, the missing performances, and then because everybody read that you were fired.
Yeah.
Two things. First of all, how does it affect audiences who say, hey, are we buying a ticket? Is he going to be there? And second of all, the people who hire you in the business, can we trust him? Can we depend on him?
Well, I won't go back to doing those things again because I won't let a show down again. And until I know I'm ready, I won't go back to theater.
Were you asked the questions, though? I mean, did they say to you, hey, look, can we depend on you?
No, not since then. And they never asked it of me when I went in there because they thought I would fulfill my commitment. Since then, I've just agreed not to even attempt things like that, so nobody's really had to ask me. But yes, it did affect the audiences. The audiences were getting very upset with...
I'm sure.
And a lot of people were walking out and wanting their money back. So I will not, as much as I dearly love theater, and I dearly love Joseph, I will not go back again until I can be reliable.
Do you feel like you're reliable? You are reliable now?
For the things that I should be doing, yes. I'm not reliable for theater. I can't hold up any length of time in theater.
What about for yourself? What about for your personal life? I mean, when you were here, you said, look, I'm going to a therapist. I think your quote was that my goal is to have happiness around me.
Right.
Are you happy now? Are things
Very
together
happy. Things
in
are
your
going
life?
better, I think. Of course, I was very depressed when the thing came down with Joseph.
Yeah.
And at the moment now, with my own show happening again, there's television offers again in the works. Yeah, I'm happier now than I've probably been since my big depression before Joseph.
It's tough, I know, to come on and bare your soul, and you've done it plenty of times.
I sure have, probably on this show more than any.
Why do you do it?
I don't know. I think I'm sincere. I like to tell the truth. And I want my fans and my public to know the whole story.
Você que clicou nesse vídeo agora e quer ver o vídeo do Andy Gibb, Bee Gees e tudo mais, clica nesse link agora e vai pro Dailymotion. O YouTube não permite que eu poste vídeos do Andy Gibb aqui no YouTube.